Eddie Kingston was on WFan Sports Radio in New York this week, hyping up the big show at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Apparently, Eddie Kingston is like a childhood friend of this guy that's hosting this radio show, so they go way back. And they were talking all about the big Arthur Ashe show and just being a New Yorker and returning to New York for wrestling. But it was in this particular clip here where Eddie was asked straight up about his suspension and everything going on with the backstage heat with Sammy Guevara. Check out this clip.
The news hits of Eddie Kingston getting suspended from AEW. I'm like, where have I heard this before? I feel like I've heard I've heard this 1,000 times over. Eddie, tell me a little bit about that situation if you can. I know that things are kind of cleared up because you're facing Sammy coming up, but tell me the situation. What happened and how things are looking right now?
I'm not going to go too inside baseball, you know what I mean, about it.
Yeah.
All I know is I was wrong because I acted very unprofessionally. I touched another man's face. And you know what, man, it is what it is. It's assault. So I was wrong. But now, let's get back to the serious thing. I got him in New York, and now he can't charge me with anything. You see what I'm saying? And
I do.
People could sit there and say whatever they want, but once you got to go at it in the ring, and people can say whatever they want, but there will be live rounds. I know there will be, because I know he's going to try to test me because he feels like he has to look good in the locker room, because he doesn't look good now, I can tell you that much. And then I'm just going to whack him back, and we're going to see who's going to see it all. I have no problem going at it. Would I like to wrestle and go hold for hold and all that? Yeah, but 9 out of 10 times in this company, he put me against guys I really don't like. So I'm not going to go hold for you. I'm going to try to pop your eardrum. I'm going to bite you. I'm going to gouge your nose. Pete, you see me do this. You see me fight kids.
I know.
You see me, like in real life. You've seen this, so that's what I do. Hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard to tell with Eddie. Like, he's another one of those people that really is good at blurring the lines of kayfabe, much like an MJF, you know. Eddie Kingston comes off very much as like an everyman, you know. Jim Cornette always likes to say that Moxley's like the plumber, but Eddie Kingston's really the plumber, isn't he? He's the every guy. He's the mechanic, I guess, is what Cornette likes to call him. But that's what he is. He's just an everyday dude. And when he talks like this, it's hard to tell, you know, when he's like, yeah, there's a lot of guys in AEW I don't like, and he'll name them. But is he just saying that because he's been in feuds with these guys on TV? You know, when he says he doesn't like Jericho or Danielson or Claudio, he's had actual like storyline beefs with these people. So is he just playing into the kayfabe when he says he doesn't actually like these people? Or is Eddie Kingston just that divisive, you know, where there's just like a group of people that he don't fuck with backstage? I'm sure maybe it falls somewhere in the middle. Kingston's never shy about giving his opinion on anything, that's for sure. And I can see how Sammy Guevara could rub people the wrong way. We'll actually get into Sammy Guevara a little bit later on the full show if you're listening to that. But yeah, Eddie Kingston's never shy to give his opinion. And like I said, I don't fully know if he's completely, you know, being 100% real, or if there's kayfabe blurred in there, or where we stand with the whole thing. But it's nice to hear that there is a little bit of animosity that's going to get resolved in this match. I like that they're going to be facing each other. I like that they're going to be able to get it all out. You know, at the time that I'm recording this, I have not seen that match, even though I know that it would have aired by the time that you hear this. So it'll be interesting to see how that actually played out. If there was a fight, you know, like Kingston said, there's going to be some live rounds thrown out there, I'm sure. I haven't seen it, so you know, you'll know more than I am as you're listening to this than I do right at the second that I'm recording this. How that played out on TV. I'm glad they were able to work it out, though. I don't know why that didn't happen at All Out. It almost feels like they saved the bigger stuff from All Out instead of doing it there. They did it at this Arthur Ashe show. You know, they really stacked the Arthur Ashe show. That would have been something. Maybe it took until now to work that out between him and Sammy. Who knows? Kingston said that, he had to go to counseling for that, or, whatever. He had to anger management type thing. He admits that he was in the wrong. You can't, he said, I touched a guy's face. I was in the wrong. I guess technically that's assault. I don't know. But yeah, you don't go around backstage just pie facing people. I mean, that was deserved. Teach him a lesson. But Eddie's one of my favorite guys on the roster. He continues to just impress me. He's not like the greatest wrestler in the world, and I don't necessarily get into those, match long chop battles. I think that's a bit much too. But Eddie Kingston's one of the real ones, for better or for worse. And I think that's why a lot of people just love Eddie Kingston. I don't know anybody that really doesn't like Eddie Kingston. He looks like a slob, but goddamn, can the guy talk? He can talk and talk. He can sweet talk the shit out of you. Remember when he debuted his match against Cody Rhodes? I had heard of Eddie Kingston before, but I didn't know much about him. But as soon as he opened his mouth on that microphone, I was like, we got to sign that guy. He got signed right away. So I'm glad that, they saw the same thing. But yeah, all these years later, or about 2 years after he was signed, Eddie Kingston still kicking ass, still one of my favorites. And I like that he's able to blur the lines of what's real and what's not real in these interviews and just tell it like it is. He's a real motherfucker. And that's he was interviewed by a guy that was his childhood friend. And he's like, yeah, that's Eddie Kingston. He told a story on the show about back when they were playing like fucking Little League Baseball or some shit like that. And Eddie Kingston got into it with this host's like friend or something like that, or some kid that was picking on his friend. Something to that effect, where Eddie Kingston just stepped in and got in somebody's face over something all the way back then even. So the host says he was not surprised when he heard that Kingston got suspended for, pie facing somebody. So good shit. I love me some Eddie Kingston. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next.